कुंज विहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
जमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा।
जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद।
जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेवा श्रील गुरुदेवा।
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा श्रील गुरुदेवा।
जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय,
जय
लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय, गौर निताई की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, पति पावन श्रीपाद महाराज की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततोर्जयम् उदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
Welcome everyone. Please accept my most humble obeisances. Today we are going to study from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, text number 21. Tasyogra danda samvignaha sarve. Yes.
तस्योग्रदण्ड संविघ्नाः
Sarve lokaha sapalakaha
सर्वे लोकाः स्वपालकाः
anyatra alabdhu sharanaha
अन्यत्रालब्धशरणाः
sharanam yayur achyutam.
शरणं ययुरच्युतम्।
तस्योग्र दंड समविघ्नः
तस्योग्रदण्ड संविघ्नाः
सर्वे लोकाः सपालकः
सर्वे लोकाः स्वपालकाः
अन्यत्रालब्धुशरणः
अन्यत्रालब्धशरणाः
शरणं ययु अच्युतम्.
Sharanam Yayurachyutam.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. Translation: everyone, including the rulers of the various planets, was extremely distressed because of the severe punishment inflicted upon them by Hiranyakashipu. Fearful and disturbed, unable to find any other shelter, they at last surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Purport. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richhati. The sage who knows me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all the living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is actually the best friend of everyone. In a condition of distress or misery, one wants to seek shelter of a well-wishing friend. The well-wishing friend of the perfect order is Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore, all the inhabitants of the various planets, being unable to find any other shelter, were obliged to seek shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Friend. If from the very beginning we seek shelter of the Supreme Friend, then there will be no cause of danger. It is said that if a dog is swimming in the water and one wants to cross the ocean by catching hold of the dog's tail, certainly he is foolish. Similarly, if in distress one seeks shelter of a demigod, he is foolish, for his efforts will be fruitless. In all circumstances, one should seek shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then there will be no danger under any circumstances. अमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिस्वरूपदामोदर स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमः सद्भक्तमनयः मणिपुरोद्भवाय च प्रभुपाल सद्वाणी प्रचारनिरताय ते। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। I will okay, I will bow my head to everyone here and request them to bless me. So here we find that these the demigods, they are not finding any other shelter other than Sri Hari, Achyutam. So we understand when Hiranyakashipu was performing great austerities, then being extremely tormented by the heat generated, thus demigods rushed to Brahmaji. But now that they are being tormented by Hiranyakashipu personally, they could understand, because they could understand that there is actually no shelter other than Achyutam, Sri Hari Vishnu. And so they went to Vishnu. So which means that even Brahmaji is also not going to be very helpful. When they went to Brahmaji and and Brahmaji went to Hiranyakashipu, and Brahmaji blessed with a boon which was actually a curse for the whole universe. So this is the problem with the so-called boons given by these demigods. They are not only temporary, but also very meager, and at times they are actually very dangerous also. So Brahmaji gave a boon to Hiranyakashipu that he went to solve the precarious situation of demigods, but in return, actually, it became even more problematic. So this is the situation here in this material world. The solution is actually a host of problems in disguise. Material solution in this material world is actually concealing in itself. What is it concealing? Many other problems. So these demigods, if we ask anything from them, right, most of the time it is because it is a material benefit only, so it will have some or other problem. So this material world is a world of problems. Even the solutions, so-called solutions, are also having great problems hidden within. Only worshipable deity is Vishnu. Sattva-tanu is only worshipable deity. Among the demigods, the three Guna avatar, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Shankarji, Brahmaji, and Vishnu, they are all the Guna avatar, which means they are here to take in charge of various gunas. So Brahmaji is in charge of Rajoguna, Shivji is in charge of Tamoguna, and Vishnu is in charge of Sattvaguna. But among these three, only Sri Vishnu is Nirguna avatar. He is Guna avatar, but Nirguna avatar. Whereas the other two are Saguna avatar. Saguna avatar means they actually are tainted by the Guna also. But Vishnu is untouched. Sriman Vishnu is untouched by Sattva Guna. Sattva Tanu would mean his form is made of Vishuddha Sattva. And the material Sattva Guna cannot touch him. Forget about Rajor Tamoguna. That's why when Muni Bhrigu went to test these three deities, he could see that there is an element of Guna in both Brahma and Shankarji, owing to which they were infuriated, they were angry. But Sriman Vishnu was completely composed and tranquil, and he did not react because there was no anger generated in him. There was no anger because there was no trace of Rajoguna which could taint him. So Bhrigu Muni concluded that only Sriman Narayan is the real, what do you call, real bhokta of any yagya. So therefore it's saying bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridram sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati bhoktaram yagya tapasam. So actually Krishna is the only worshipable deity, right? For everyone, for karmis, for gyanis, and definitely for bhakta. So for karmis is the bhoktaram. Bhoktaram means is the bhoktaram yagya tapasam. So bhoktaram yagya would mean here the karma and austerity, the karmas, okay, and tapasa would mean the austerity of the gyanis. So he is the one who is the actually the object of this karma and austerities by these karmis and gyanis. And Sarvaloka Maheshwara is as the Paramatma, he is the object of worship for the Ashtanga Yogas. Maheshwara, Sarvaloka Maheshwara. And then Suhrid, a friend. Suhrid then would mean that only by knowing that Krishna is the Lord, Suhrid, liberation is achieved, not even by Sattvic Gyan or even Ashtanga Yoga. So Suhrid means friend of all. Suhrid would mean actually in real sense the friend of devotees who consider Krishna as the Suhrid friend, and they understand that worshipping Krishna is my real constitution because Krishna is the Suhrid friend. And actually this shloka is this Bhaktaram Yagya Tapsam. It means that only by worshipping Vishnu, liberation can be achieved. And even the perfection in karma and jnana is also achieved by worshipping Sriman Hari. So bhakti is completely independent of karma and gyan and tapa and other siddhi, but all these things are definitely dependent on traces of bhakti. So if one is performing karma, but he's not inserting in the element of bhakti, then he will not achieve the perfection in his karma, and the perfection in jnana is also not achieved by inserting the element of bhakti. So if one wants if one wants even liberation, even merging in Brahma Jyoti, one has to insert an element of bhakti in his gyan part. But that does not make him a bhakt. That would definitely be Bhakti Mishrit Gyani, who is using bhakti to get gyan, or similarly who uses bhakti to get perfection in karma. He cannot be called as a bhakta or even sakam bhakta. He is sabhakti kami. So but everywhere this trace of bhakti is definitely needed, otherwise the perfection will not be achieved. So it is said when one performs bhakti for these ulterior motives, for these other motives, then what happens? The Bhakti Devi being extremely merciful, because Bhakti Devi is very merciful. She gives them whatever they want and then leaves. So she leaves. But when this Sakam Bhakt, right, they are performing bhakti, they are performing bhakti, and they're bhakt actually. The four kind of bhakt, Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, Jnani, they won't run to any other demigod ever, even if they are not getting their desire ever. In that case, between bhakti stays, bhakti always stays. Bhakti is there to stay eternally every time. So, so therefore, the Bhoktaram Yakatapsam would mean that for every perfection in any corner of life, bhakti is definitely needed, right? Otherwise, perfection will not be achieved. That's why it is said, Srila Prabhupada is writing that Krishna is a well-wishing friend. Krishna is the only well-wishing friend, right? Krishna is the one who is protecting even Brahmaji and Shivaji also in their precarious times. I mean, when we at times we find Brahmaji is praying to Krishna for help, and Krishna comes and helps him. For example, when this Prithvilok, it sank, the Brahmaji was helplessly praying to Lord, and Lord came as Varaha Bhagwan and saved Brahmaji by fixing the earth back in its position. So Krishna is the most worshipable deity, and not only by Shiva and Brahmaji is he worshipped, he is actually worshipped by Mahavishnu also, which means Mahavishnu also desires to serve Krishna or Vishnu. Krishna is the most worshipable deity. What's the time now? Not much to tell. Yeah. Here, one thing is there. I noted it down that this example given by Srila Prabhupada is very appropriate. That like how a dog who himself is, if a dog is swimming in the water and one wants to cross the ocean, by catching hold of dogs, so certainly he is foolish because he will definitely drown, and dog will also drown. But maybe this example is used by Srila Prabhupada. So these worshippers of demigods, sometimes they create problems to demigods. For example, that Asura, he created problem for Bhagwan Shankar, when Bhagwan Shankar told him that whosoever head you put your hands on, that he will immediately be turned into ashes. And so he was trying to testify that boon on Bhagwan Shankar himself. And Bhagwan Shankar ran, and but then who came to protect Bhagwan Shankar? Bhagwan Vishnu, Lord Vishnu only came to protect Lord Shiva from the Asura. So Krishna is the only protector, and Krishna is the only well-wisher, supreme well-wisher. Srila Prabhupada is saying supreme well-wisher of the perfect order. Supreme well-wisher means, what is a supreme well-being? Actually, supreme well-being actually would mean always growing faster and faster in bhakti, and he is the one who will never put universe in danger like this. Brahmaji or Shankarji sometimes being impelled by obligation or compassion, they sometimes unwillingly, though, they do it by giving boons to asuras, the unqualified one. Sri Hari, he would not listen to these asuras. For example, this example is coming. This Jarasandh, he actually used to worship Vishnu, but he was planning to conduct this Narbali of many princes he kidnapped. But ultimately, did Krishna accept that? No, Krishna got him killed by Bhimu. So Krishna is the one who will never let these asuras misuse his worship, because he's a well-wishing friend of all the universes, right? And sometimes it also happens that when a devotee is asking for something from Krishna, then sometimes Krishna does not give him at all anything to the devotee, because Krishna knows the best. He knows that if I give him, then he may be either puffed up or he may slacken in bhakti, and he may start offending devotees, because sometimes this power and wealth and all these assets actually kind of instigate the offending spree in us, right? We start demeaning other innocent and poor looking devotees, simple devotees, right? Because of and sometimes this feeling also comes in us. If you have got so much assets, this feeling comes that these devotees, they have to depend on me. So if it were not for me, where would have these devotees gone? Where would they have gone? So this feeling also comes, and this charity is called a charity in mode of passion. When one thinks that if I were not there, if it hadn't been for me, then who would have given them? Who would have given the protection? This is called as charity in mode of passion. In Bhagavad Gita, it is written 3 divisions of faith. So, therefore, Krishna knows best that what to do with the devotees, uh, neophyte devotees who are still having some material desires. Krishna, that's why we have heard many times this particular fact from our Maharaj is that Krishna is like telling to himself, this devotee is asking for wish, but why should I give him the wish? I will rather give him the Amrit by giving him my lotus feet. So Krishna does not give at times. At times he does not give, material assets to the devotee. So if the devotees, if all of us, if we feel that we are not being helped by Krishna in the case of materially, we should not feel demotivated, or we should not develop definitely at all any hostility with Krishna. Initially, we may be little upset, but okay, it will subside. I remember Srila Prabhupada ji also, he was presenting his own example. When Srila Prabhupada ji had this desire of opening a laboratory factory in Allahabad, Prabhupada ji was having an intention that whatever Lakshmi I would earn, I would use him for preaching and publishing back to Godhead, because that's what the instruction of Srila Prabhupada ji's Guru Maharaj ji was. But Krishna had some other plans for Srila Prabhupada. The factory collapsed and the servant ran with the money. So Srila Prabhupada ji shares that he was upset with Krishna actually. But ultimately, then Srila Prabhupada ji said, but look at me now I have got everything. So it takes time. It definitely takes time. We should have very clear conscience. At least this much conscience we should have, that whatever I earn, whatever I am going to pray to Krishna for, my, whatever material assets I'm asking from Krishna, I will use it for service to Krishna. And Krishna will definitely give. I mean, Krishna may not give also, but in any situation, we should not leave Krishna. Though we may be little upset, but okay, Krishna will not mind that. So our bhakti should not be disturbed. Our devotional path should not be disturbed by our, by such kind of lack of vision. So therefore, Bhagwan Krishna is a Suhridam. Suhridam means he's the most well-wisher friend, most well-wishing friend. We should always daily tell ourselves, every hour, every minute, we should remind ourselves that Krishna is the most well-wishing friend. He is the only one who comes as Guru Maharaj in our lives. And such a well-wishing friend, such a sweet friend, and the Asuras, they see demons. Sorry, the Asuras, they see enemy. The demons, they see enemy in Krishna. He is our most, hostile enemy. That is our misfortune. I remember when Bharat, he was scolding Mata Kaikeyi, because Kaikeyi became instrumental. Kaikeyi, because of Kaikeyi only, Bhagwan had to retire to forest. Sri Ram and Dashrath, he left his body. out of anguish. So Bharat, Bharat, he was telling to Kaikeyi that Sri Ram, he is the sweetest friend. There is no reason of considering him as an enemy. Sri Ram is he's a friend of everyone. You saw enemy in him, shame on you. You saw an enemy, you considered him as an enemy, you considered him as an obstacle, as a problem. Shame on you. Tell me quickly if you are a woman or you are a demoness in disguise of a woman. So Bharat was scolding so much, he was completely. So because of our misfit vision, we see that Krishna is partial, or Krishna is not helping us. And we also feel that Krishna, when he comes here in this material world, he has to depend on Panchabhuta. He gets a body made of Panchabhuta. He has to, adorn himself with a body made of Panchabhuta, made of Maya. Otherwise, how come we are able to see blood and perspiration in him? We won't ever blame our own vision, but we will always put blames on like this, on Krishna's disposition, and Krishna form, Krishna's body like this. So our own vision is actually a misfit. What was Arjuna's vision, who was seeing Krishna as the Shyam Sundar form always? So showing this universal form to Krishna, to Arjuna, actually it was not a blessing, in the sense that many people think generally, what do we think, that Krishna upgraded the vision of Arjuna? Actually, Krishna downgraded the vision of Arjuna. Arjuna was already seeing the most superlative, beautiful form of eternal transcendental form of Shyam Sundar. Krishna is standing in front of him, with whom he could talk and he could reciprocate. He would sleep together with Krishna in the same bed, eat together. When Krishna downgraded his vision to demigodly vision, Divya Chakshu there would mean, there would mean demigodly vision. Because generally these demigods, they aspire to have a darshan of Virat Roop. So this universal form is actually not the transcendental form. It is temporary. It does not have elements of Sachidanand. And it does not have the element of bliss. So Arjuna did not approve that form, could not find himself connected to that form. And he immediately asked Lord to withdraw that form. And Lord withdrew the form. So our vision is a misfit. Our vision is, अर्जुना का विजन और हमारे विजन में huge difference. Arjuna ka, when Arjuna was being taken to heavenly planet by Matali, Arjuna was not shaking. Generally, when we sit in car or bus or in any chariot, we shake, right? We do like this. But Arjuna was completely still. So Matali was saying that I find it really very wonderful that you are stationary, you are completely unshaken. And then next episode is that almost the culminating episode in Heavenly Planet. Arjuna was accosted by Urvashi, right? Urvashi wanted to enjoy union with Arjuna, but Arjuna was unshaken then also. So not only in position, but also in disposition. He did not shake at all, which means, so acharyas say this proves, the episode of Urvashi proves that Arjuna is not from this material world. He is Nitya Parshad. Because in this material world, no one definitely except the pure devotees. No one has got enough strength to decline the advances of Urvashi. So Arjuna is having the perfect vision, right? So Therefore, because of our imperfect vision and because of our own imperfect character, disposition, we feel that Krishna is also misfit. Krishna also comes and he has to, he has to like, when he incarnates, when he comes, if he has to take shelter of Maya and a body made of Maya. Asuras think that Krishna is our deadliest enemy. Let us wipe him away, right? And these Gyanis, these Nirvisheshwadis, they say, or these rather Advaitavadis, Mayavadis, they say that Krishna is, or absolute truth is attributeless. So that's why Srila Prabhupada ji would often say that everyone is trying to kill Krishna, right? They are making him attributeless. But Krishna is most wonderful, sweetest, and with wonderful rasa, with wonderful gestures, with wonderful, wonderful ambition of our well-being. That's why Krishna is the most well-wishing friend. Let us make friends with Krishna. How do we become friends with Krishna? The greatest reciprocation would be to ourselves become well-wisher of the Supreme Well-Wisher Krishna. So these Premi Bhakta, they are actually well-wisher of Krishna. They always think of the well-being of Krishna or Krishna's message. So we are trying to preach scientifically using big conferences and seminars and meetings and publications, dialogues, monologues, and all other channels. All the devotees what are they doing? They are actually trying to save the message of Krishna from their side. And they are like themselves behaving as a well-wisher of the Supreme Well-Wisher Krishna. So Krishna says, whosoever does this preaching is very dear to me. So therefore, which means we should ourselves become the well-wisher of Krishna. One who is a well-wisher of Krishna, one who has, in whose heart Krishna is residing, they are actually the real well-wishers of all. Actually, the devotees, pure devotees, are even more compassionate than Krishna. Krishna's compassion reflects through pure devotees. And so therefore, at last I will say that our Guru Maharaj Ji is our truemost well-wisher, and we should always remind ourselves of this. This Vyas Puja is coming, where deity installation of our beloved Shripad Maharaj Ji will be done. We invite everyone from this family of ours. We meet daily. There are a lot of devotees, we meet them only monthly or weekly or maybe even yearly. But have you all noticed that this family which we assemble daily to enjoy Bhagavatam together, it's a family in its own accord. Daily we are daily reciprocating with them, sharing Bhagavatam with them, hearing Bhagavatam from them. So we invite this family, everyone, try to participate in that festival in Radha Kund. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Please forgive my offenses if I have committed any.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for this nice and humble class. Yeah, anyone is having any question regarding today's class, they can raise the hand and ask His Grace Srikant Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a general question which is not related to the class. So, may I or
Prabhuji, please.
yeah,
Please bless me with your question.
Jagannath. Yeah. So, is offense one direction? I mean, unidirectional.
Offense.
Yeah.
What is one direction here?
I mean, let us say some argument happened between uh, two devotees.
Mm.
Then, who is making offense to whom? Is it both of them are making offense, or how is it?
I would say that if our senior devotee is a Shiksha Guru, we should not argue with our gurus. Definitely. We should not argue with our seniors. Right. Differences we can have, but we should never argue. Argument mode पे नहीं जाना चाहिए. उस केस में ऑफेंस जो है केवल जूनियर डिवोटी का ही है, जो जूनियर है, क्योंकि वो आर्ग्यूमेंट खत्म कर सकता है. He can stop the argument. But generally we find that actually भक्ति लाइन में मैंने देखा है, जैसे आईएससी में इतने स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, उनमें एक थोड़ा ह्यूमिलिटी रहती है कि we don't know everything, that our professors know, our seniors know. लेकिन भक्ति में everyone thinks, even from day one, that we know everything. It happens with me also. So therefore, when a junior devotee is arguing with a senior devotee, thinking that he knows everything, but that's why he may be arguing, or there may be other reasons also. But still, अब हम लोगों को भक्ति में बहुत टॉलरेंस सीखना है. आर्ग्यू नहीं करना चाहिए ज़्यादा, टॉलरेंस सीखना है और सीनियर डिवोटीज को प्रसन्न करना है. हम सीनियर डिवोटी से कभी इतना ही कह दें कि यस प्रभु जी आप ठीक कह रहे हैं, मेरी गलती थी, तो सीनियर डिवोटीज का हार्ट मेल्ट हो जाएगा, आर्ग्यूमेंट रुक जाएगा, एंड ऑफेंस भी हमारा रुक जाएगा. इसलिए आर्ग्यूमेंटेशन मोड नहीं होना चाहिए. डिस्कशन हो सकता है, डिस्कशन में भी बहुत केयरफुली डिस्कशन करना चाहिए, किसी के पर्सनल लाइफ पे अटैक नहीं करना चाहिए, और किसी की सेवा को आघात नहीं पहुंचाना चाहिए. वो सब ऑफेंस में चला जाएगा. इज इट ओके?
Yeah, Prabhuji. To some extent, but my question is, if argument has happened, then how the after effects will be? So will it be only on one side, or it will be on both sides?
I think I'd like to request Maharaji to shed some light on this. Will it be okay? Maharaji can answer perfectly. सेवा में कई तरह से कुछ आर्गुमेंट होते हैं, जैसे कि इधर भी आर्गुमेंट होते थे, अपने स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में भी आर्गुमेंट होते हैं, बट कृष्णा रिलीजियस थे. आर्गुमेंट की भी एक मर्यादा होती है. मेरा कहने मतलब ये है, वो मर्यादा क्रॉस किसी को नहीं करनी चाहिए. राइट? मर्यादा क्रॉस करने से मुझे लगता है वहां से ऑफेंसेस चालू हो जाएंगे. As long as we are in Maryada means limits, and we are just discussing with the Prabhuji, I have this difference. अगर healthy discussion हो रहा है तो उसमें मुझे नहीं लगता है कि कोई ऐसा ऑफेंस का होगा. बट अगर अगली हो जाता है तो उसमें ऑफेंस जो है, यही क्वेश्चन है ना आपका कि दोनों को लगेगा कि एक को लगेगा.
हाँ प्रभु.
तो उसमें आई वुड से कि I feel that the junior devotee is on the receiving end, and he should try to stop that bitterful situation which is turning to be bitter, acerbic. That's what I feel. I may be wrong. Okay, Prabhu, let Maharaj ji answer this question then.
Yeah, thank you, Raji. Okay, yes, respect Maharaj, please.
I think there may be more than one Maharaj on the call. I have not seen. So I just want to remind that. So
Our Nilavan Maharaj is there, Govind Maharaj is there.
That's why I said Maharaj ji's.
okay, I have unmuted. I will put my 2 cents. So, because our Govind Maharaj can finally correct everything. So actually, between every 2 persons, there is a hierarchy. If one is humble enough, he can see. Between every 2 people, there is a natural hierarchy. So one should be humble to recognize that hierarchy. Shastra goes to the extent to say that even the twins who are born together, grown up together inside, even among them there is a hierarchy. Right? The person who is born first, he is younger. So, because in this world, our natural tendency is to not follow because of various reasons. So therefore, Shastra sets natural hierarchy based on age, based on teacher, student, senior, junior, in so many ways. So therefore, one should be humble enough to recognize that hierarchy. So, if there is a difference, one can humbly submit or pray to the Lord that this is exactly supposed to be done, but because I am in this condition, I have to follow this, and something like that. So, so if we are really humble, we will see their hierarchy. And when there is an argument, the person who is there is no question of who is right or wrong. There is only a question of who is supposed to listen to whom. Right? We have this experience in our homes. If we speak little rashly to the elders, immediately our mother or father will correct us, irrespective of whether they are right or wrong. We will be chastised. That is the kind of our Vedic culture we grow. So that respect should be never this be there. In the meeting, you can express in a humble way. But when one is not humble, we'll see the difference. It comes out in addressing. Prabhuji will become Das. Srikant Prabhuji will become Srikant Das. And similarly, our Sukadev Prabhuji was telling this time, we were in Radhakund, that once Guru Maharaj was telling him that there is a Swamiji and Maharaj, right? So Swamiji, Guru Maharaj told is the people, outsiders, they call as Swamiji because they have no idea about how one is respectfully addressed. But in the insider, they call Maharaj. So what happens? Just like Prabhuji becomes Das, this Maharaj will become Swamiji. Swami or Swami, not may not use Swamiji. So we can understand. And I have observed this. Those who disagree or a little bit annoying, they change addressing also, because the problem of heart is not the problem of intellect. So that takes time. So there should not be arguments. Yeah, so if we are humble, we see the natural hierarchy, and though there is some seemingly we may be at some disadvantage, but the disadvantage we see is generally material. But if we tolerate, what we get is the highest benediction. That is the blessings from Guru and Krishna. They will think, yeah, he is my devotee. Krishna will think, and Guru will think, yes, he is my disciple. So that blessing will come if we tolerate. So choice is ours, what we want. You want to win the argument or want to get advantage or facilities or whatever we are struggling for, or we get blessings, or we get Krishna and Guru's blessings, that yes, he is my disciple. So otherwise, like Guru Maharaj said, when one person shout, another person shout. So explosion and explosion, there is a big explosion. So seniors also sometimes, if somebody explodes, they may remain silent. It doesn't mean that they have no arguments or they have no there are many factors are there for larger interests. Sometimes they also remain silent. So that is the kind of maturity one needs. Devotional journey that requires detachment. Sakta karmani atha kurvanti avidvamso. So just like ignorant people act out of attachment, learned persons should act without attachment. So especially the leaders, those who are desiring to lead. So that is the kind of maturity. So learned person should lead. So learned person means not knowing how to have skills. But skills development, anybody can develop. You put in a devotee association, they will develop by seeing other person, all the skills, tricks, everything. But that is not what makes a leader. Skills is not what makes a leader. What makes a leader is this tolerance, example we set to others, and acting without attachment and depending on Guru and Krishna. And when we are in disadvantaged position, that is the time we can really get their blessings. If you think somebody is cornering us or putting us in a side, that is the time we can take shelter of lotus feet of Sri Guru, right? Like sometimes in the childhood, no, sometimes there is some dog barking, bow, bow. So we'll immediately embrace our mother or father. So you may say dog barking is good or bad. In one sense, it is good. We can embrace a father or mother closely, tightly. So argument should not be there. When there is argument, there is no question of who is right or wrong. Who is supposed to listen to whom? That's what is seen by the Guru and Krishna. Unless there is something like some emergency or somebody is going to kill somebody or something like that, or gross violations, or yeah, but this is a general thing. So we can embrace our rights or we can embrace the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna. Rights in the purported rights, which we think are right, or this thing. So asakta. That is if we don't develop detachment, then very difficult. Humility and detachment, tolerance. Tolerance, humility, and detachment. These are very important for a noble or Vaishnava behavior. And when the people they see two Vaishnavas arguing, they will think, oh, these are also like us one. We are coming here for getting peace from these quarrels and arguments, and we come to the ashram. Here also they are quarreling. So there is no, they don't see any divinity. So therefore, this culture should be cultivated. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. May I share an incident of Guru Maharaj?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
I remember Guru Maharaj was flying with Sitanath Prabhu, and his seat was acquired by a very extremely arrogant young boy, and that young man, he shouted on Guru Maharaj because he had that kind of distaste, hatred for saintly people. And Guru Maharaj kept quiet and went to other seat. And after some time, Guru Maharaj comes to this person, and Guru Maharaj is saying that, please forgive me because I have caused you pain. Guru Maharaj is asking for forgiveness. And then that person was filled with so much remorse, and just by seeing this divinity of Guru Maharaj, this humble, Guru Maharaj did not take to the arguing mode. We have to learn from such exemplary examples set by our Guru Maharaj. That's why once again I would invite everyone to come to Radha Kund. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Govind Maharaj, please.
Hare Krishna
Today looks
Maharaj.
like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
All goes to Prabhupada. Today looks like you rushed into class. We were planning. I was for more, but still you covered a lot of points. It's very interesting.
Oh.
Well, a few points regarding you described the points of karma and jnana. You know, they appear as bhakti, but bhakti is the real sadhan, because bhakti alone gives the sadhya, no?
Yeah.
Of any process. Other processes, if taken, they are apparently sadhan, but in reality, bhakti is the only sadhan. Without the help of bhakti, the karma, jnana, yoga, they are not able to give the fruit of, there's a comparison given like, ajagala stana nyaya. You heard about it, no? Aja means ajagala stana nyaya anya sadhana. Chaitanya Chaitamrita. Ateva hari bhaje buddhimana jana. It's a very, Chaitanya Chaitamrita is so amazing. I don't know where it is, but bhakti binu kono sadhan dite nare.
Maharaji,
Voice is not audible, Maharaj.
I thought there is a problem with me. Hare Krishna Maharaji, we are not able to hear from your holiness.
Maybe there is a network issue, Prabhuji. Meanwhile, we can take a question by our Nilmada Prabhuji, which was there in chat.
What is the question?
What should be our vision when we are going through severe painful conditions?
Severe painful. Painful means physical or psychological. In any case, what should be our vision when we are going through severe painful condition? Well, our vision should be comprising of many subtleties. Number one is that since we are performing bhakti, we should pray, thank to Krishna. This is a very high consciousness that I deserved more pain, but you are giving only this much pain. Secondly, the pain should also remind us of this miserable words, bitterness. Should remind us, and it should help us in developing detachment with the material existence. That's why sometimes Krishna gives pain to his devotees, so that devotees become even more detached and attached to him. When we are in painful situation, we should be always also reminded of our own misdeeds, that we must have definitely caused pain to others. That's why in result I'm getting this pain, but in a very mitigated form, because Krishna being very compassionate, he's giving me pain in a very
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm back. I just got connected.
okay, Maharaj.
Just 1 second. Internet connection.
Yeah, Maharaji, our Srikant Prabhuji is about to finish one answer.
Regarding the offense, I wanted to.
That Maharaj is please. Yes, Maharaj, please continue.
But you finish what you were saying. That way it will help me. What you were saying.
Yeah, there's this question by our Nil Madhav Prabhu. What should be our vision when we are going through severe painful condition? So I told that in the painful condition, we should not be demotivated. In fact, we should be motivated to perform more bhakti. Painful condition actually helps us in becoming more focused. We have seen in my own example that when their miseries are there, I become little bit more focused. Otherwise, we are so conditioned, we tend to take bhakti also even carelessly, and so painful conditions में humility भी बढ़ती है. Painful condition में जब हम आते हैं तो our humility also increases, हमारी दीनता बढ़ती है. We become more humbler. That's what I would like to say, that we should become even more focused and should not be demotivated. And also we should understand that we are not exempted, right? We should not, whenever we are in painful condition, we should not think that I'm the only one who is having this. Every single person in this material world, including Brahmaji, is in pain, is in an agonizing situation. So don't consider that you have been selected out. No. Don't curse yourself. Whenever you are in painful situation, don't succumb to so much cursing yourself. Bottom line fact is that our focus in our spiritual journey in bhakti should become even more viscous and condensed. Hare Krishna. Now we like to hear from His Holiness Maharaji.
So basically, bhakti is the only sadhan described in our scriptures. Karma, jnana, and yoga, without the help of bhakti, they cannot give their own fruit independently. But they apparently appear as sadhan, like the skin appearing in the shape of stomach of a goat, but it has no milk. Because what is the use of the stomach if the milk is not there? Correct? It's useless. So in the same way, jnana, karma, yoga, they are compared to this ajagala stana nyaya. Gala means the throat. Aja means the goat. So it has no meaning. It has no purpose. It's like somebody having a broken car, but you cannot use it. It's just only show bottle. You cannot ride it and use it. So in the same way, that's why those who are truly intelligent, they worship, they do devotion to. But regarding this Jarasandha, I was really interested. You mentioned that Jarasandha worship Lord Vishnu, and still he was considered as demon. So this point is very nicely highlighted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, 8th chapter. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that not only Jarasandha, Shishupal, Dantavakra, Duryodhan, they were all very, very amazingly devoted to dharma, dharmic jivan, rules, regulations, and so many. And as part of the dharma, they were worshipping Vishnu also. It's amazing. And in spite of that, the direct Vishnu, the manifest Vishnu, they ignored. Krishna, correct? They could not recognize Krishna as Vishnu. And that's why they were considered, in spite of being most dharmic, they were titled asuras, demonic mentality. So in the same way, in that context, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that those who accept Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but undermine or don't ignore, don't recognize the divinity of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Panchatattva, then they are also considered very heavy statement. But the example he gives is the same which you gave. The Jarasandha worshipped Vishnu as part of his duty dharma, and still he was considered demoniac. So those who worship Krishna but cannot accept, in spite of all the evidences and all the wonderful pastimes, divinity manifested in the form of Mahaprabhu, if they don't accept Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Krishna, then they are also demoniacness. Because how can, if Krishna manifest, if a true worshipper of Krishna, how can he not recognize? How would he not recognize Mahaprabhu is Krishna? Just as if a true lover of Vishnu, Jarasandha would have recognized Krishna as Vishnu, then he wouldn't undermine his position. But main thing was aparadha. That was a very beautiful question because it's very practical. Aparadha is committed due to the ignorance of the position of the other person, actually. Knowingly or unknowingly, it can happen both ways because we have so many episodes. But our role as sadhakas, the well-wisher we become. We represent Krishna. Of course, the spiritual master, as you mentioned, is the manifest Krishna for us. He is our best well-wisher because we can perceive it, we can feel it, we have experienced it. Krishna is a well-wisher, but Krishna's one of the manifestations is Sri Guru. In Pancharatra Agam, I have quoted that shloka many times. The 4 manifestations of Krishna, they won't appeal to us because of our conditioning in the heart. The glory of the 4 manifestations of Krishna become revealed when the 5th manifestation of Krishna is Sri Guru, Kripalu Purushakriti, comes in our life. So definitely the position of Sri Guru is greater than Krishna's, because Krishna being the source of everything, but whatever becomes perceivable for us, that matters more than what is beyond our perception as yet. And that's why we perceive the glory of worship and dearness we can experience in relation to Sri Guru. But the point is, as sadhakas, directly coming to the point, we cannot afford to remain oblivious to the fact that even as sadhakas, all of us are gold medalists. It's not that only one gold medalist. This concept has to be imbibed in our consciousness. There is no dearth of positions of gold medalists. Like in material world, only one person becomes the president or one person becomes the gold medalist. Correct? Others have to be settled with a silver medal or a bronze medal or no medal. Correct? There are 4 kinds of medals. Correct? There may be 5th, a consolation something. But on this path, everybody is potentially a gold medalist. We must honor one another, each other, no matter what position. It is such a rare fortune for anyone to join this path of pure devotional service. You know, I again become reminded when Sripad was invited to that birthday party of Dr. Tom Charles, in his Nobel laureates. So all the Nobel laureates came. What they were thinking of each other? They were adoring. They were just appreciating each other's special achievement. Correct? They were not envious of each other. They were not trying to put down each other. I'm better than you. They were all Nobel laureates. Correct? They celebrate one another's success, and that you made it, we made it. So on this path of pure devotional service, we must become aware of this fact that we are a very, very chosen group. We are all on the way to become the gold medalists, potentially. So those who appear to be behind, we pull them, and those who those who appear to be ahead of us, we don't envy them. Rather, they become the source of inspiration for us. That is very essential. I give another example, a practical example. I was really amused when I visited when we were in Bangalore many years ago. So we were asked to visit some relative family. So we enter that area. The name of that area was Arab Patiyon Ka Villa.
Bangalore. Why did I not know it before? I would have definitely given a visit.
There is a location.
Arab Patiyon Ka Villa.
So everybody who lives in that complex is Arabpati, huge houses. We visited one of them. Anyway, so the whole idea is when Arabpatis meet each other, do they hate each other? They try to put down each other, insult each other, or they argue with each other? What do you think you are? We are both awfully rich. Nah? Everybody has made it. So in the same way, among sadhakas, we are in a very rare group. We are greater than Arab Patiyon Ka Villa. We are in the highest, on the way to the highest destination. Come on, how can we let go of this thought? We are all on the way to become the gold medalist. And if there is anything greater, because why I say gold medal is because we are so conditioned to gold medal, in this material world. Gold medal is number 1, numero uno. But we are all absolute. There could be unlimited absolutes, So this absolute platform must be hankered after. We have to encourage one another. We have to become well-wishers. Just as you said, that was beautiful. The high point of your class, that a pure devotee they become well-wisher of Krishna. Because Krishna says, I have become well-wisher. Who will become my well-wisher? Krishna also likes to have someone to become his well-wisher. So in the same way, our role as a representative of Krishna and Sri Guru is to become the well-wisher, honoring his potential. Ultimately, our vision has to focus on his potential, not what the person was in the past, or not even what the devotee looks or speaks or behaves like in the present. We have to we have to focus what he can become, and our role will be to assist. And if the intention matters, intention matters. So we are selected out. If in the painful situation, the consciousness could be that whatever what thoughts was in my mind, that how special I am, but when I go through misery and when somebody puts me down or insults me and ignores me, or painful situation, it becomes very natural to feel how ordinary, how utterly ordinary am I. So it's a mercy of Krishna. But all these contemplations, all this is possible when we have at least some good association of awakened souls, awakened sadhakas. Then all these things can be taken care of, because we cannot exist, survive, or grow in isolation. Sangha, satsanga, becoming attached to satsanga means to satpurush or the devotees alone will keep us buddhiman. Without satsang, we become anything but buddhiman, or become anything but buddhiman. So association must be protected, good association, and that way we will be able to honor. We are already very rare group. How difficult it is to make even those who are so-called dear to us, to make them into devotee or bring them on the devotional path. Very difficult. So we somehow become blessed by other devotees, and so what a rare fortune we are in. So anybody who comes to our fold is a rare soul. He's also gold medalist. So there is no need to envy anyone. Rather, we can only facilitate for their growth. So on this path of pure devotional service, this principle is very much should be established, that we are all meant on this path of pure devotional service. We are all meant to facilitate one another. So if somebody appears to be ahead of me, cannot be the object of my envy. Rather, only be to be made as inspiration. And somebody who appears to be behind me, it's our duty to just pull them forward. So the role, there should not be any crisis of identifying our role. Our role, in one or other way, superior or junior or senior, is to facilitate one another only. There is no duality there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, any sense on this question posed by our Nilmada Prabhu?
What was the question?
What should be our vision when we are going through severe painful condition?
Severe painful condition is body wise, na?
I guess
Yeah, mental or bodily growth
Yeah,
or suffering. Yeah, at least come on, this is the difference. You're being on the devotional path and someone not being on the devotional path. That's the difference. So you're being becoming a sadhaka on the way to become a pure devotee. You have a goal, and those people who don't have that goal, they commit suicide. And they become very miserable. They become very distraught, totally cursing themselves.
Srikant Prabhu, you can put off video for not having anything. Bandwidth issue, you can turn off the video for some time.
My video? Okay, yeah. Great. Maharaj, you can continue.
Yeah, his devotional association must rescue him. Just think of the difference between one who is bereft of this devotional vision or our human potential, as we discuss again and again. For a devotee, this is very, very apparent. What would be his position? Means if he was not on the devotional journey, on this path. People do many horrible things, funny things, make very bad decisions and bad actions, bad steps they take. So in painful situation, cry out to Krishna. Mahaprabhu prepared us, Mahaprabhu taught us. This was not possible in other yugas, correct? Crying out to Krishna in desperation. It was not possible in any yugas. We don't find any episode even in Bhagavatam where somebody cried out for God in desperation. Everybody had such a strong sense of qualification that they would do any austerity, any step they will take. There was no sense of desperation. That's why Mahaprabhu could not give that love to other yugas, people. But in Kali Yuga, this painful situation or something little happens, we become very unsettled. Unsettledness, it gives us desperation, that we are so incapacitated, so aksham, so helpless. So this helpless mood for a sadhaka must cause his crying out to Krishna for help. So that's the difference between sadhaka and one who is not a sadhaka. Even jnanis and karmis and yogis, even if they cry or ordinary people cry, they don't cry for, they just cry in cursing someone or somebody. But a devotee sadhaka, he can cry for Krishna. Krishna, I'm totally helpless. Please help me out. And Krishna likes somehow desperation in a sadhaka for him. So make the best use of your painful situation anyway.
Maharaji,
I
our
think,
painful condition as compared to the pains suffered by our Vaishnavas and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada is negligible. And whatever they went through, our pain is nothing compared to. But most of the time we give up, and that's what.
yes, we have barely begun this journey.
Mm.
And they are Siddha. Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, they are Siddha Purusha, They are liberated eternally. And so they demonstrate something which is not possible for ordinary being. And this is what makes them super extraordinary. But these are the examples. But as far as we are concerned, even in the beginning stage, one thing is for sure, we have taken shelter of Krishna by taking shelter of Guru Gauranga, correct?
Mm.
So crying out is our property. It is within our adhikar. So Krandanam yadi janasi. This is the answer to it. Krandanam yadi janasi kim dure karunarnavam. So when we are in pain, Krishna appears very distant. But if we learn the mode of crying properly, Krandanam yadi janasi. Crying we are used to, Ever since inception we cry out, and this is life, Crying is beginning of life, as if. But if we cry out for Krishna, we cry to Krishna, we cry for something. We cry to Krishna to get something from him, correct? But ultimately we have to cry for Krishna. So our pain puts us in a corner, completely stretching us on the edge, where crying for Krishna may be the only solution, only thing left. So this is possible for a sadhaka. So we have a clear advantage over others. That's the only thing I want to say. So procure your clear advantage. And, that is your adhikar. Cry out for Krishna. And Krishna is closest to you. You know, He's so near. When you cry out in desperation, something wonderful, miraculous happens, and life journey continues. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. None of our painful conditions can be compared to the pain that young Prahlad or even through Pandavas went through. Even Lord Nityanand Prabhu was attacked by a Madhai. Thank you, Shamchand Prabhuji, for the insertion. So, Sanatan Prabhu, what should we do now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
We can conclude?
We can conclude for today.
Okay. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
जय जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
पतित पावन श्रीपाद महाराज की जय
Jai.
दामोदर मास की जय
Jai.
अनंत
Jai.
कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय 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 जय
His Grace Srikant Prabhu ki jai. Thank
Jai,
you all
Jai,
for
Jai.
joining. See you
वैष्णव
all in
वृंद की जय
tomorrow's class.
Okay, thank you very much.